The clone Grand Army of the Republic has shot down a transport ship with one of their Venators. They've mobilized a clone trooper task force to land on the planet's surface and search the ship. The reason being, it's suspected this transport was actually transporting a Jedi, and the crew on board was none other than Rom Koda's militia. And they were correct. Koda was transferring a smuggled Jedi Knight through the transport ship to the Rebel Alliance. Surviving crew members have established a defense. They need to hold out at all costs against the Grand Inquisitor and Commander Bly's 327th Star Corps Legion. If you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into it. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go in slow-mo and start this Men of War Assault Squad 2 Star Wars Galaxy at War Mod Order 66 battle. We've got ATTEs on the battlefield, 2 to be exact, 1 on either side of the crashed ship, as well as 4 TX-130Ts. Now, the 327 Star Corps does have a solid variety of units on the battlefield, from DC-15Xs to DC-15As, DC-15Cs, etc., etc. The only problem with the Clone Trooper army is the fact that they have to go up against such stark defenses here. These guys are going to be defending tooth and nail, and there are so many of them all over the place. This was a fully loaded transport ship. Of course, we can see that the vehicles are helping out tremendously with the Clone Trooper army, plus those DC-15X snipers are certainly eating away at these guys. But Koda's militia also does have a robust number of rocket launchers with them, some of the classic Battlefront 2 ones, as some of those 3 rocket shooters that the Wookiees have, and I believe there's one other type of rocket launcher. There's the triple shot rocket launcher right there. Not to mention, they've got 2 Jedi on their sides. They are on hold move mode back here, but they should be able to hold that corner pretty darn decently if it ends up coming to that, which hopefully it will not. But there's multiple entrance points here for the Clone Trooper army, which is going to cause some serious problems. The fact that they can flank pretty much everywhere. Oh! Whoa there! The impact damage does concuss the Grand Inquisitor, but it does appear as though he is still alive, just unconscious on the battlefield. Hey guys, maybe check your fire? I feel like Commander Bly did that on purpose. Alright, okay, this entrance point over here seems to actually be doing pretty decently, but the one in the dead center, for some reason, the TX-130Ts just decided to zero in over that way, as did the ATTE and the Grand Inquisitor, so this entranceway is getting... Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video. Seriously tested on the battlefield. Lots of shots going into the Grand Inquisitor. He's retreating a little bit, but there's more troopers over this way shooting him up as well. Luckily, the Jedi and Sith of this game have absolutely insane armor, and they have the deflectability, and they have really good health, and they have really good health regen, so this guy can likely stay alive for a decent amount of time. Let's go to the other side of the troop transport ship, and it looks like more losses over here, but they're staying in the fight just like the other side. ATTE over there. Oh, it's zeroing its gun this way. That is not good. And there's the shot, and it missed and bounced harmlessly off the wall. Okay, not even an explosion from the Top Gun. That's rare. One TX-130T over here has exploded seemingly. A little bit glitchy with the smoke. I don't know what's up with that. And this one's engine is on fire. So one more shot into this thing, and it is likely dead, as its shields are all down if it is on fire like that and the sirens are going off. We've got more of Koda's militia in this corner firing away. It looks like some serious devastation against these 327 Star Corps troopers that they fought against. So that's a really good entrance point defense right there from Coda's boys. That ain't too bad, but this middle section over here is not having that same result. The clone troopers seem to be doing a lot better over here. And then on the far left over this way, it seems like a lot of the troopers all conglomerated over this way and are pushing in all at once, which is honestly not a bad tactic to just really force it down mid this way and try to overwhelm the enemy with a huge portion of infantry. Of course, they are losing some of that infantry right now, but simultaneously, they are clearing a few of Coda's boys, not to mention they're going to get that dual hit over here as well. Some grenades going into the Coda militia over this way. These guys over here are the only ones alive on the outside of this position. Ooh, we got some rockets getting fired out at the clones as well, though that one ended up being harmless. Rip. These guys, way less in number than these guys. It seems like maybe all of Coda's militia is going to be fighting clone troopers over here, whereas the other area is over here on the other side. So, a little bit of a split in where they're deciding to fully attack. Of course, Coda is back here in the engine room. I don't know why they ended up here. Maybe that's where they were getting smuggled in. You know, they're not going to be on the bridge for the smuggling, so this is where they're at, and there's a pretty major attack going on over here, of course. These guys all silent right now, but the fellas out this way getting some more shots in. A280s in the Men of War Assault Squad 2 Star Wars Galaxy and War Mod are some of the most powerful weapons that there are, so those puppies are going to do some serious damage against the enemies if Coda's militia uses them properly and doesn't get too suppressed. Over this side, these vehicles continue to curb stomp. Of course, their effectiveness is going to dwindle significantly as they're not going to be able to get in through these gaps. So they're just kind of stuck on the outside right now, not able to do anything and not able to push in. Same with the other side. You know, they're limited in their abilities here, and it will end up being up to the infantry at the end of the day. However, the fact that those vehicles have managed to get so many kills on troopers, both in the interior doorways as well as the exterior, it's just going to help preserve more infantry and keep them alive for longer during this battle. Alright, let's see how the bridge defenders are doing over this way. They have a huge number of kills on the 327 Star Corps over here. Wow, they are holding this choke point really, really nicely. They're even granataing over this way. And very few clones attacking the other entrance point over here, at least compared. This seems like the better entrance point to attack, even though it's a little bit more out in the open. This one is just getting hardcore stopped right now. So this does seem like the area where the clones might want to actually gear more of their soldiers towards. Oh, we got some big fire coming in from ATT? I don't know, what was that, a rocket maybe? I'm not sure. Let's go check in on the Grand Inquisitor. Alright, it looks like he's just chilling over here right now on the exterior. Still alive, but not making that big push into the ship itself. The rest of the clones actually are diverting over this way to aid the backside, where the other team is doing extreme pushes still, and very limited progress over here. I mean, look at this. They're just getting destroyed. At least they're getting some shots off, which means there is hope. Whenever there's a choke point and no one is firing on one side, that choke point's cooked for one team or the other. But both sides are firing here, so it means there could be forward progress for the clone troopers. Also, mad dash through here. Big grenade coming through as well. They're going to try and rebound it, but he can't pick it up. He tries again, he gets it up, but then explodes and takes his comrades behind him with him. Oh, no. Oh, Lord, that was not good. Okay, clones on the struggle bus over here. Looks like the TX-130T might be angling for some shots this way. That could certainly help. They need something, buddy. They need something. My goodness. They've completely bailed on this entrance point. Now the ATTE and them are gearing up this way. It looks like it's lost its top gunner, and it might be cleared out because there's no movement. Not totally sure what's up with that. This one's aiming down this way, but not doing much either. How is Coda's defense doing over here? Clones starting to really flood in this way. A few of them getting killed in the lurch over here, but the rest are being held at bay. But again, massive joint movement from the clones. We love to see that. Lots of movement together, always a good thing. We'll see if that continues, though, because kind of as they lose more and more troopers, you start to see more selfishness in the battlefield. Grand Inquisitor getting himself lodged into a brick. Incredible, buddy. Incredible. There is a pretty solid defense still going on over here, firing through the nooks and crannies of the defenses. Not too bad. Ramkota's boys. They are doing quite well for themselves. This little flank shot over this way, not nearly the mass casualties as the other area, but still no progress being made over here. So Kota's militia probably feeling pretty good about that, and this entranceway still probably the largest area of the fight, but not much happening everywhere else. Still not much happening. The clones are failing on a lot of fronts. Either way, if we look at the minimap at the top left there, the dots in blue are Ramkota's militia. The dots in red are the Stormtrooper slash Clone Trooper army. They're in Clone Trooper armor, but I think they're technically Stormtroopers now, since they're under the Empire. I don't know. The Clone Troopers are definitely dwindling. If we look at the losses, this is not totally accurate because bodies that explode or get run over don't appear here. However, it's semi-accurate-ish. You can see yellow are dead Kota's troopers, red are dead Clone Troopers. Again, probably way more for both sides if we take into account explosions and stuff like that, but also way more losses on the right side than the left side of this battlefield for the clones, interestingly enough. There is a bit of another mass casualty situation starting to unfold over here as clones burst through this tiny doorway and get absolutely clobbered by like 4 of Ramkota's militia troopers. That's it. That's all it took to get all those kills. Wow. We might actually see Kota's militia manage to get a W during this defense. I mean, I don't want to call it too early because that tends to not go well, but it does seem like Kota's militia is doing a good job of defending here. These guys back this way, defending him and the Jedi Knight, tooth and nail. And there's still quite a number of troopers back here, but this is the final objective, so if they fail elsewhere in the ship, all of the clone troopers remaining will flood in here, so it's important to have your biggest defense in the engine room over here to defend that. Yeah, not much forward progress being made elsewhere. Why don't we go ahead and do a little time-lapse over here and watch these guys, because this is still the largest part of the battlefield. You can watch them flail. Okay, about 3 minutes of time-lapsing there, and the assault has somewhat stagnated in this approach over here. But in other areas I noticed, we're starting to see more. So we're going to redirect over here and also boost it up to 2-speed. I think we're in the clear to start increasing the game speed as we lose more clones and more Kota's militia. It's going to get us better frames per second. Big grenade right there. Takes out a couple of clones that were pushing the assault. Not too bad. We've also got some Kota's militia way back here firing away, but once this guy goes down, those clones will be free to enter there and then start fighting this side alley over here. The ATTE and TXs, they're basically useless now. They're not going to be able to do anything with the interior fight. So they're just here for show, I guess, at this point. We've got Kota's militia holding the Inquisitor at bay here, but the Inquisitor is helping his clone trooper friends by deflecting some of those shots. So this little distraction play that they're doing could work out well. He's dead, never mind. I guess that was it. Bro has passed. RIP. That sucks. Oh, a TX over here exploded. When did that happen? Okay, also another very large push coming over this way. Trying to do a simultaneous push with the other side, it seems, but not quite managing it. These clones, though, getting fully onto this barricade here and managing to get some shots off. So good for them. They're actually making some progress over here. I guess the daily curse is real. Once we looked away, started to do a little bit better. Let's go check on Coda and his Jedi Knight friend. Alright, our two boys over here are still alive, but they're still under kind of a constant siege. Not to mention, these clone troopers are within grenade range, but they're just kind of holding back for now. This is still a lock. Over here, these guys haven't progressed further. There's quite a bit of fighting going on over here. This is where all the action is at this moment. It seems like it changes every 5 seconds. We have a grenade, a thermal detonator getting thrown. And that guy is gonna go bye-bye as his friend retreats further back. Wow! Okay, that is crazy. Still no progress here for the clones in terms of actually breaching through here. They're just getting stalemated currently. So Coda's men could do this very successfully. They seem to have a good hold on things. There's positions where I'm seeing some stuff going awry, but not to the degree where it would like completely blow up their defense or anything like that. Clone comes through here, gets one kill, and then gets killed himself. I'm telling you, these guys could throw a few grenades in there, and Ram Coda's troopers could do nothing about it. They would be killed so quickly. They're just not doing that, though. They're not doing the Granata method. They're taking the hard way out, which, you know, in war, it's not always the best decision. Sometimes you just gotta take the easy path by grenading your enemies. There we go. There's a grenade getting yoked into that trooper that's under cover right there. He drops out of cover. He's actually not dead yet. He might survive this. He runs back to cover. He takes a couple hits, but does not go down. He is still alive. That's impressive. More fighting over on this side. Looks like these guys took care of it, though. So no problemo. Oh, we get the full Monty going in over this way. Look at that. The clones finally made progress in here. More grenades going out over this way. That was a nothing burger of a grenade, though, so not very impressive, to say the very least. These guys, though, they're finally making progress. We'll see if they can plow through all of these troops. There's a fairly solid defensive position back here that could easily wipe out a ton of these clone troopers as they try to come on in. That seems to be happening right now, but the clones do have more cover available to them to actually skirmish these guys. It's not as choke pointy as previously. If they just take out these two troops, they'll be able to not worry about over here, focus on the left side, and then maybe these guys could start coming through here a bit better. Maybe not, though, because there are still more Coda troopers over that way. More troops over here trying to squeeze their way in, but they're just getting shot up and dead right there. And these guys, similar trajectory where they're just getting obliterated. Oh, another grenade goes into this fella. This time it looks like he's not gonna run and in fact gets shot in the back and dies. Rip, my boy. Okay, this guy's reloading. Make your move! Well, that guy's also reloading and that guy's healing, so... And they finish reloading at the same time and get shot over there anyway. So, not that much of progress. Not very nice. This little barricade here, looks like there was actually a third trooper over here as well. And they are continuing to slap down clone troopers. Coda's men with Coda. Looks like a few more losses over here. More grenades going off. I don't know who threw that, though. But they are still stuck in a bit of a stalemate over here. Why don't we go into full speed ahead as more and more troopers from both sides end up dying on this battlefield. We can increase our speed. Alright, some 8-280 fire takes that trooper out, but not before he gets another kill on this barricade. It's just one at a time at this point, but hey, it's working for the clones. And Coda's men are not taking advantage of grenading them either. So, grenade warfare could be a lot bigger on this battle, and they're just not doing it. Here we go. Making moves, and he's dead. Rip the dream for that guy. The ATTE on this side is actually doing something. This one over here is static, so this one wasn't cleared out of its crew, and it could come over here and just start walloping, because this is a big opening. They could maybe find some targets over there. That would be huge. They probably won't be able to shoot these guys over this way, but maybe in other areas they could angle it in and get some kills. Alright, let's go ahead and watch this defense for a bit, because this is still the largest position being contested, and it's taken a while. Alright guys, just a couple more minutes there, and the clones, they've been slaughtered over this way. They are pushing the right though now, and that is their big advantage. If they can fulfill that flank over here and get through here, that's huge. However, there's even more Coda troopers back here, so it's just layers of this defense that they need to work their way through, and they're just not really able to do it. The ATTE over here is kind of getting stuck. This one's just not moving, neither is the TX. I mean, there's not much they can do, to be completely honest. A little bit more of a push over here, and from those troopers over that way. Let's check out the mini-map. Red are clone troopers left alive. Blue are Coda's militia left alive. And it seems like Coda's militia is really curb stomping them. No one over here or over here left for the clones. Big pocket over here. Big pocket over here. Pretty big pocket over here. And over here, and then some smaller pockets around this way that Coda's militia has almost defeated, but not quite. And these choke points are really coming into play, where they're just able to slap them down before they can make much progress. This is a good firing line here for Coda's militia. They're just missing half of their shots. There we go. They finally get one of those kills right there. And of course, there's the flank over this way. The constant flanking from Coda's militia is just brutal. These static positions are just all over the place. So what could have been, you know, an advantage for the clones, where they're able to break through because there's so much disorganization around Coda's men, has actually come to bite them in the butt, because there's always another trooper backing them up. That's a big grenade right there. Massive. Is that guy dead in the wall? Oh, there is a guy that's not dead in the wall. We'll pull you out, buddy. You're welcome. Saved you. Saved you right there. Let's watch this corner for a bit here, but it's looking like a Coda victory potentially. Couple more minutes there, and the clones here, my cat and dog are fighting, pretty much petered out. There's still a solid squad over there. Over this way there's a solid squad. There's still so many Coda's militia right here though, and over here watching their flank, so I don't think the clones will make much progress over there. Over here the clones also not making progress, bursting into the middle zone. And then in the very back over this way, Coda's boys, Coda himself also still holding out, but there is a bit of a bigger presence over here from the clones now, so let's watch this action. Alright, the clones are still pushing through here a little bit, just not a lot. They're definitely stalling their attacks on all fronts right now, as they're starting to dwindle in terms of numbers and all that. They're just not able to field nearly as many troopers. It's definitely going to be a Coda victory. It's just a matter of how long. Let's keep watching. Alright, I mean, the battle is still technically going on, it's just not a lot going on overall. Looks like a small breakthrough over this way, but I kind of don't think it'll amount to much. Let's see what happens, though, down this corridor, I suppose. Alright, the defense continues to hold. Wonderful. It is literally just like extinguishing clones bit by bit is the process here. There's no more attacking over here. There's a very small band of clones over here, a small band around this area, and a small band over here. So it really is simple cleanup now. Let's just do a nice overhead bird's eye view and watch the fireworks at the end here. Why not? And there we have it, boys. A successful defense from Ram Coda and his troops. There's one infantryman left alive for the clones, and he's inside this wall. Coda did a nice job here. The clones, not so much. Not so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video.
Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.